Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today what we're going to do is work with this recent Paper Pumpkin Kit alternative, and I don't think I saved my little flyer from it. Oh, I did. And it made these cards, which are so pretty, and I turned them into anniversary cards. So what I was going to do, I saved the sentiments. I'm going to actually stamp the sentiments that are in the stamp set on here, and I'm just going to save them for when I want to use them. But I decided to do something different. I'm building for my church again. Starting to build a little stash of cards. We're going to do a little bit of watercoloring. So I have my water painter. I've already stamped some of the flowers on watercolor paper, and this is our Fluid 100 watercolor paper. It is 5x7. So what I did is I cut it down to 4 3/4, and then in half on the 7-inch side at 3 1/2. Because I'm going to get 2 cards out of this, and we're going to work with the new ink colors. And I have my ink color paper pad here, so we're going to decide what background to put on it. And we're also going to use the basic beige for kind of a no line watercolor. I love this color. This is very, very, very versatile. I'm going to show you the effects of this on here. So this is a sample card that I made. I just use a piece of DSP. It's a one I had in my stash to go with the color that I used, because I used Calypso Coral and Old Olive on here. And then I just stamped the sentiment directly on there. So make a couple of birthday cards. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and get out the floral piece from the last Paper Pumpkin Kit. And then we're going to stamp that using the basic beige. And I'm going to do two at once as far as the stamping goes. So I'm going to go ahead and get this inked up with the basic beige. And I'm just going to kind of stamp this kind of where I want it. I might offset this just a little bit, keeping in mind I'm going to have the sentiment up here stamped on there. Just going to let that soak in. So we've got that one. And then we've got this one here. Okay. I think that's all I need the basic beige for right now. I'm going to go ahead and clean this off. And I'm going to use the Go-To Greetings, the Happy Birthday from the Go-To Greetings. These are really great sentiments that are in here, though. There's a lot of really great ones. We might use Let's Celebrate You as well. Under the Happy Birthday, Let's Celebrate You. We might add that one. Okay, so now I've got these pieces and we need to paint our flowers. I'm going to go ahead and cut these, off. Now I have the die cut that you could get with the Paper Pumpkin Kit to be able to cut these flowers, but you can always fussy cut them as well. So we're just going to need to do 2, so 2 per card. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do one. We're going to use Petal Pink and Peach Pie and Shy Shamrock. Petal Pink first. We'll do this one first. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of squeeze this so I get some ink on my lid here. And then I'm just going to add some water to this. And I have some napkins here. And my brush wasn't as clean as I thought it was, so let's clean this off some more. There we go. That's better. Just going to kind of mix this up here. And I'm going to start painting the flowers. And I'm just doing dry watercoloring here. And I am going over the lines because the interesting thing about this basic beige is it kind of takes on the color of your ink. It just makes it a darker color. Bring you in a little bit closer here so you can see what I'm doing. And as you can see, if you look at these petals, when I brush along the basic beige, and it doesn't have to be perfect, it's a watercolor, and you fill it in, if you see the flower and compare it to this, do you see how it kind of takes on that color? I think that's just phenomenal. And then I'm going to color the main panel with the same color, the flower. Okay, one more flower piece here, and then we're going to do the leaves in Shy Shamrock and make this just a bright, happy, cheery watercolor birthday card. Okay, those are done. And if you wanted to, you could always go back and add a little bit more color. Which I think I am going to do in these, just because I know this is going to be cut out and popped up. Okay, so I've done that. Now I can close this ink, and I'm going to do the same thing with this Shy Shamrock. I'm going to clean off my brush here. I have a cup of water here with my, and then I'm just going to squeeze this and clean that brush so it doesn't have any more of that pink. Then we're going to go ahead and do the same thing, kind of squeeze so you get some ink. There we go. Now I'm going to add some water to this. And then we're going to paint the leaves on this. And making sure again that I'm trying to get some of this ink on the lines here. And I'm going to follow the lines out to the tips of the leaf, because that will also take on the color of the green. And I'm going to do the same thing with the stem. I'm just going to follow along. And anywhere I think I've missed the line, I'm just going to go back with the watercolor. Now if you compare this with this, you can see how this color is just great. This basic beige. And then we're going to do the same thing in here. We're going to just color in our leaves. And of course, now that I'm making a video, I have a mosquito flying around my face. Okay, and then I'm going to go back through, do the same thing here, and I'm going to color, just going to follow along the stems. There's that. Okay, so I'm going to set these aside and let them dry, and I'm going to go ahead and close this. I'm going to be back to this, but I know I'll get my hands in it, so I just want to make sure it's closed. And we're going to do the next one, and we're going to do the flowers in peach pie. So I'm going to clean off my brush, and I'm going to leave it close up so you can watch, see what I'm doing. Okay, I think that's clean. So I'm going to add a little bit of water to this here. Okay, and then we're going to start coloring our flower. I'm going to let that one dry and work on this flower. So very quickly, once you stamp your image, you can create a little piece of watercolor here that the recipient can have on their card. This peach pie is a really nice color. Okay, now we'll go to this little one, and then we'll look at the other one and see if I want to add a deeper color to it. I don't mind this flower being a lighter color because it's going to be in the background behind the other one I do. So let's take a look at this. Let's go ahead and add a little bit more color here just to deepen it a little bit. Okay, that is good. So there's that one. I'm going to go ahead and rinse this off and prepare for our Shy Shamrock. Okay, that looks clean. Go ahead and close that up. And those inks will just dry in your lid and you can use them again. Put that in there. Okay, and add a little bit more water here. Okay, now we'll go back to this and we'll go ahead and start painting in those leaves again. And then following the lines of the stems. And then we'll go to this one. Do the same thing. Watercoloring is very relaxing. Okay, now we'll follow the lines. There. All right, that looks good to me. I'm gonna pull you back up. Clean off my brush. Oh, that is not, I am not done yet. So I need these two pieces here. And we're going to splatter, kind of mimicking what was done on the paper pumpkin this time around. There was splatters, so we are going to splatter on here. Try to get some of this stuff out of my way. There we go. So I'm just going to add more water, a little bit more water to my inkwell here in the lid. So that's nice and juicy for splattering. And then I'm just going to load up my brush here. And I'm just going to kind of use my finger and splatter this all over the card. I'm fine with that. So then we'll do the next one. Okay, that looks good. So I'm going to clean this off, close this up. So here are the splatters on this one and the splatters on this one. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and wipe off my mat here. Now while those are drying, I'm going to let them dry a little bit. I'm going to clean off my brush here. Okay, that looks clean. Go ahead and clean that off. All right, so the next thing I'm going to do is I want to pick my papers. So we have, bring this in here because that's kind of damp. We have these, and since I'm using Peach Pie and Pretty in Pink, I kind of want to use those colors as my background. So here's some Pretty in Pink. We have either one of these patterns, and then we have this pattern and that pattern. So let's grab this. I'm kind of liking the stripes for this. I could go either direction because this is going to sit like this and have a border. That I think hides too much, so I'm kind of liking the stripes. Let's see what the circles look like. And this. The stripes it is, so I'm going to go with the stripes on that. Probably the same thing for the Peach Pie. It's really like the stripes. I think I kind of like them going that way. And then this pattern. I'm going to go with this pattern for the Peach Pie just to do a different pattern in the background. Okay, so, and these are our new in colors. We've got those. I'm going to cut those down to 5 by 4 1/4. No, I'm sorry. 5 1/4 by 4. And that I think will look really nice with that one. It just gives it a nice pattern. And then the peach one, I want the stripes up and down, so I'm going to cut it at 4 this way. And 5 1/4. Okay, so we've got those cut. I have 2 card bases ready to use that I've had in my stash. And okay, that'll cover it up. All right, so now we're going to go ahead and I'm just going to go ahead and attach these to the card base. Making sure they open the right way, because I have a tendency to do that, put them on when they open wrong. And I guess if you're just doing this, it doesn't matter unless you have a pattern that's oriented a specific way. Add that one. Okay, now those are on there. Now what I want to do is I want to go ahead and stamp the happy birthday sentiment on to these, but what I've discovered is that because it's watercolor paper, we kind of need a stamping platform to get a more solid impression. If you can see this, which this looks good, oops, sorry, but it doesn't completely fill in the color, and I'd like it filled in a little more. So I'm going to use the stamp platform, probably my Misty. Yeah, my Misty will probably be fine. Okay. I don't need this part. Put that in there. And then I'm going to use the second largest happy birthday from the Go To Greetings. I'm just going to line this up right there. Make sure it's straight. And I'm going to use gray granite. And just ink this up. Go over and stamp it. Then I'm going to ink it up again. And one more time. I found, use this thing my friends made me just to apply even pressure. Okay, I'm happier with that, and I'm okay that it's not, it just kind of gives it a little bit of a rustic look. So we're going to do the same thing on this other one here. See how that looks. And you do need to give it a minute to kind of soak in. Okay, I'm okay with that. So we've got the sentiment on there. This way. When you guys are watching this video, I will be out of town for another week. So I'm kind of trying to prep because I've been, just been a lot going on, and I've been traveling a lot. This will be my last out-of-state travel anyway. So make sure I have these the right things. And so I'm going to kind of prep a couple videos. That way there's some posted. And I don't know, I may do a journal video. Those are going to be coming. I just, life has just been crazy. So, let's make sure this opens the right way. All right, I'm going to go ahead and attach this here. There's that. And then we're going to go ahead and attach this to the pink. Make sure that's on there straight. All right, so there's that. So we've got those two pieces attached to the card base. Now we need to get these ready to be attached. And there was some twine. There was some soft twine. I think I just used this twine. But since I have, I could use this pink. I don't think I have a peach pie one. That would be cute. This vanilla just doesn't stand out, and I kind of want it to stand out a little bit. But that's probably the one we will use. Okay. So we've got our twine, because I'm going to need to do bows, but I'm going to go ahead and get these cut out. I got to pull the die. Now I haven't checked to see if this die is available still. It was the last time I purchased, which wasn't too long ago. And it comes from, oh, not that one. For some reason, I get 4 die sets. Oh, it is this one. I'm just looking at it backwards. So it's from Every Celebration Dies. I'm just looking at it backwards. So it fits that. And I just got my order probably about a week ago. So at the time that I did this, they were still available. So I'm going to use that to cut those out. And my mint tape to hold it in place. Now I'm going to take it through, and when I feel it release, I'm going to bring it back, just because I haven't tested just a single run. I'm sure it would be fine, but I just want to make sure it cuts and not have to put it back on there. So there's one, and then here's another one. Okay, so that's all the die cutting we're going to do. Now the rest of these cards should go together fairly quickly. Okay, so that's how those are going to go. And then I'm going to grab, let's see, I have these dimensionals handy. So what we're going to do is we're going to put dimensionals on these. Now I do like to use, when I use them, I like to use a lot of them. So make sure that, you know, there's kind of not really any weak spots when I push down. But you probably don't need as many as I'm putting on here. And I did have the small ones handy, so those are the ones we're using. And I think I want one right about, oh, that will fit there. That'll be good. Do the same thing on this one. I'm just going to see how that feels. That feels good. Those both feel good. So we're going to go ahead and just attach them. I'm going to align the stem up here and just kind of put it off to the side. And I'm just doing that so I can give it some more dimension. So get these all peeled off. The card's almost done. You could really just stamp a whole bunch of these and just do a bunch of watercolor on them at the same time. Just change the color of your flowers, your leaves. So I'm going to kind of line this up here, and I'm just going to put it off to the side like that. Do the same thing with this. Okay, I'm going to line that up here and do the same thing with that there. Okay, so we've got that. Now we've just got our bows and embellishments. There was a few sequin pieces left, and I added them here on this card, and we'll do the same thing here. So for this one, we got the pretty in pink. So might as well stick with the pink bow. Yep, I'm happy with that. So there were some of these left over, these little glue dots. So I'm going to just use those. I actually sat here, I had 3 kits that I hadn't worked on yet. I've been so busy. So I finished them all up. So that little bow can go right about there. Then I need to cut this loose. There we go. There's our little bow for that one. And then we're going to use this one for this other card. Yep, so we'll get another one of these glue dots. And what I do when I attach these here, I just kind of fold it over so I don't have any exposed. Stick that right about there. There we go. There's the bows on those. And then this front, so this is thick basic white cardstock, and it's pretty hefty. Like, even though there's this watercolor on here, you don't necessarily have to stick a matted layer and another white piece if you don't want to, and I'm not going to, since I did add layers in there for my church. But I am gonna decorate with the rest of the sequins here that we have. 2, 4, 6. We have 6 of them, and so that's perfect. I want to use 3. So, okay, so we're going to grab a couple of the big ones here, small one over here, and another big one kind of down. Whoops, big one. Kind of down here on the bottom. So there's that finished card. And do the same thing. A big one. can get it up. A little one. And another big one right about there. And there's that finished card. And they make cute, cute cards. So there's an alternative or something else to do. I have 3 total cards that I've made with this technique, just playing with different colors, and I think they turned out beautiful. All right, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will catch you on the next one.